At 70 years old, Kevin Costner has reached a moment of reflection few actors ever truly achieve. With a career spanning more than 4 decades, countless iconic roles, and an enduring presence in American cinema, Costner has nothing left to prove. Yet, with age has come clarity and a willingness to speak openly about the people who shaped him. Among them stands one towering figure, Robert Redford. For years, fans speculated about the quiet connection between the two Hollywood giants. Were they rivals, collaborators, or something deeper? Now Costner has finally shared the truth. What he revealed isn't gossip or controversy, but something far more powerful, a story of mentorship, inspiration, and shared values that transcended fame. It's a reflection not just on Redford, but on what it means to live with integrity in an industry built on illusion. This is the story of Kevin Costner's journey, and the man who helped define his vision of storytelling. A working-class beginning built on resilience. Kevin Michael Costner was born on January 18, 1955 in Linwood, California, into a working-class family grounded in discipline and hard work. His father, William Costner, was an electrician and later a utility executive, while his mother, Sharon Ray, worked as a welfare worker. As the youngest of 3 boys, Kevin grew up in a household that valued responsibility over comfort. Frequent relocations due to his father's career meant Kevin rarely stayed in one place for long. These constant moves shaped his adaptability, independence, and quiet resilience, traits that would later define his on-screen presence. Unlike many future actors, Costner didn't grow up dreaming of stardom. Instead, he learned how to observe people, adapt to new environments, and find strength in uncertainty. Those early lessons instilled a grounded realism that would become the backbone of his performances and his personal philosophy. Discovering purpose. Later than most, Costner's path to acting was anything but conventional. He attended California State University Fullerton, where he studied marketing and finance, fully expecting a corporate future. Acting wasn't part of the plan until a chance encounter changed everything. During his final year of college, Costner met legendary actor Richard Burton on a flight. That brief interaction left a lasting impression, igniting a spark he couldn't ignore. Inspired by Burton's presence and passion, Costner made a bold decision. He would pursue acting no matter the cost. He began taking classes, performing in small theater productions, and working odd jobs to survive. Rejection became routine, but his belief never wavered. What set Costner apart wasn't instant talent or industry connections, it was persistence. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing meaning. That determination would eventually open doors that once seemed impossible. A slow rise and the break. That almost wasn't Kevin Costner's rise to fame, was a slow burn, fueled by patience and perseverance. Early roles were small, often uncredited, and sometimes heartbreaking. In 1983, director Lawrence Kasdan cast him in The Big Chill, a potential breakthrough that ended in disappointment when all of Costner's scenes were cut. For many, that would have been the end. For Costner, it was a lesson. Kasdan remembered his quiet charisma and gave him another chance, casting him in Silverado in 1985. That role finally brought Costner into the spotlight. Audiences responded to his natural strength and understated confidence. He wasn't flashy or theatrical, he felt real. That authenticity quickly became his signature. Hollywood had found a new kind of leading man, one who embodied integrity rather than excess, and the industry began to take notice. The golden era of an American icon. The late 1980s and early 1990s marked the defining era of Costner's career. Films like The Untouchables, Bull Durham, and Field of Dreams turned him into a household name. His performances resonated deeply, capturing themes of honor, redemption, and emotional restraint. Then came Dances with Wolves in 1990, a project that changed everything. Costner not only starred in the film but directed and produced it, taking an enormous risk at the height of his fame. The gamble paid off spectacularly. The film won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, and redefined how Hollywood portrayed Native American culture. It wasn't just a success, it was a statement. Costner proved that mainstream audiences would embrace thoughtful, ambitious storytelling. His courage reshaped his legacy and cemented his place in cinematic history. Fame, risk, and the cost of ambition. Throughout the 1990s, Costner continued to dominate the box office, with films like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, JFK, The Bodyguard, and Wyatt Earp. The Bodyguard in particular became a global phenomenon, pairing him with Whitney Houston in one of cinema's most iconic romances. Yet, not every risk paid off. Films like Waterworld and The Postman faced harsh criticism for their scale and ambition. Still, Costner never apologized for aiming high. He believed in bold storytelling even when it failed. Beyond film, he explored music as the frontman of Kevin Costner in Modern West, using songwriting as another way to tell stories rooted in love, loss, and the American frontier. These creative pursuits reflected a man unwilling to be confined by expectations, choosing authenticity over approval. Love, marriage, and hard-won lessons. Costner's personal life mirrored the complexity of his career. He married his college sweetheart, Cindy Silva, in 1978, long before fame arrived. Together, they raised 3 children and 1 children while navigating a life in something. Chakri au bi or au lai, why Shamin Biri Aurensan Komermenina. Instead, as Costner's career soared, time apart and public scrutiny strained their relationship. In 1994, they divorced after 16 years together, a separation that made headlines and forced deep self-reflection. A decade later, Costner found love again with Christine Baumgartner. Their marriage brought renewed joy and 3 more children. Fatherhood, later in life, grounded him in ways fame never could. However, in 2024, after nearly 20 years together, the couple divorced. Despite the pain, Costner emphasized respect and prioritizing family. These relationships taught him balance, humility, and emotional cost-taking iyon cost istiu base inoshu wolove isio voambi lessons that would echo through his later work. A career renaissance and return to roots. In recent years, Costner experienced a powerful resurgence through his role as John Dutton in Yellowstone. The character, a stoic, flawed patriarch defending his land and legacy, felt deeply personal. Audiences embraced the performance, introducing Costner to a new generation of fans. Off-screen, he retreated further into a quieter life, splitting time between ranching, music, and family. He avoided Hollywood excess, choosing nature over noise. This return to roots mirrored the values he had admired his entire life, and the ones he saw reflected in Robert Redford. As Costner entered his 70s, he began speaking openly about the figures who shaped his philosophy, none more influential than Redford. The truth about Robert Redford. As Costner finally revealed, Robert Redford was never just an idol, he was a compass. Redford's quiet intensity, artistic courage, and moral clarity profoundly shaped Costner's understanding of storytelling. Watching Redford direct ordinary people showed him that actors could also be visionaries. Their conversations, especially during discussions about A River Runs Through It, left lasting impressions. Redford spoke not just of film, but of fathers, sons, and unspoken truths. They bonded over nature, the American West, and a shared belief in purposeful art. Costner credits Redford's integrity with giving him the courage to make Dances with Wolves. There was no rivalry between them, only mutual respect. Redford didn't give instructions. He offered example. And that, Costner says, made all the difference. Outro. Legacy beyond the spotlight. At 70, Kevin Costner's reflections carry the weight of experience and gratitude. His truth about Robert Redford is simple yet profound. Greatness isn't about fame, it's about integrity, courage, and staying true to your voice. Redford showed him that storytelling could shape culture, honor history, and give meaning to risk. As the final chapters of his career, he sees Redford not just as a mentor, but as a symbol of what an artist should be. In a world obsessed with spectacle, their bond was built quietly on shared values, respect, and love for the craft. And perhaps that is Costner's greatest legacy, proving that success, when rooted in purpose, can endure long after the applause fades.